voice. KWTN 100.9 FM. Allen, Nebraska. The official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe.
Oh yeah, you like the intro? Oh hey B-Love, we're gonna get our own intro here pretty soon, man. It's gonna sound good.
Let's get it.
We're gonna get creative with that too. You guys stay tuned. In upcoming episodes, we're gonna change that cool little intro to our own intro and have a sports show intro. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to 100.9 on your FM dial. This is KWTN, the official radio station of the Winnebago Tribe in Nebraska. You are listening to the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Coach Q. Alongside me is my big brother, Buffalo Bass.
What's good, everybody? What's good? And
today, we got a very special guest today. Hey, Buff, I was thinking of some kind of an intro. You know, we should think about intros on how we introduce our guest. You know, instead of like just doing a very basic one. You know, maybe have like a little sporting intro, like, you know, joining us today, you know, from the Winnebago Tribe or something like that. You know, and you know, we've had some pretty interesting shows, man. We've had rebounding and block shots and point leader at Haskell join us and tell her story. Mm-hmm. We had Aaron LaPointe graduate from UNL and now doing big thins for Ho-Chunk Farms. We had him on. You know, we had Darla on not too long ago. Darla LaPointe, you know, record volleyball state record holder for over 3 decades. You know, we've also had a number of interesting guests, and the crazy thing about it is that these are our own people. They're our own people.
Yep.
And the stories that we're hearing every week during this summer on the episodes that we're having our scholar athlete spotlights, man, we have some really good ones. And so brings me to my little intro here. Today we have with us one of my favorite coaches, the all-time winningest coach in Winnebago Indians basketball history. Mm-hmm. Also, former state champion Jeffrey Barrett.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, say hello, Jeff.
What's up?
All right, so hey, yeah, we were just chatting a little bit before we started this show, and we had Jeff on not too long ago. Well, I say not too long ago, but it was probably like in episode 19 or 18 or something like that, where you and your son Diami came on. We talked a lot about Diami and how he was doing in cross country. I think it was just shortly after basketball season. He talked about basketball. He also talked about that he was planning on heading down to your alma mater down there at Haskell University, and I just saw on Facebook, and we also saw last week he had a going away kind of gathering, and he got seated off, and a lot of prayers were said, and I'm sure people were kind of slipping him a 20 here and there, you know, for his trip down to Haskell, and you guys went and dropped him off. So hey, just real quick, like before we get into the interview, how'd that go, dropping your baby boy off at college and taking off, leaving him down there?
Yeah, I was kind of joking around because it was his 18th birthday that day he had to leave, so I told him I was kicking him out. But no, it went really good. We didn't bring him down. My mom went with him. He got his license that day, and we was ready to go to powwow, so he kind of went on his own journey down there, and I felt good about it because he knows a lot of people down there, and there's a lot of people that know him, so I felt pretty good about it, and I can't wait to get down there to visit him already and see what he does. But as of right now, he's doing pretty good. He started practice on Monday for cross country. So today he messaged and said that he did a 7-mile run today. So he knocked that out this morning. So he's already busy. I told him to go down there and make that team his team. So be the leader. So that's what he's trying to do. So he's doing pretty good right now.
Definitely, man. Just
give me a side ache just
I
hearing
know,
that.
right? Just start making me breathe hard and want to quit already. No, but yeah, that's awesome. You know, 7 miles just for your first day of practice, man. You know, the only thing that we could think is the way Dami ran and played ball, and was actually everything he did in Winnebago and through high school and junior high. He was always going all out. He was always a good leader. And you challenge him, he'll take the challenge. He'll run with it, you know?
Someone said, I can't remember who said that, but they gave they giving Diami the nod on being probably the best all-around athlete to wear the blue and white. And I might co-sign for that too. I mean, all running and just how good he was in basketball. And wish he would have played football to toughen up a little bit. But he's kind of a skinny guy. But yeah, I hate to say it like that, but let's say in shape guy.
Yeah.
But but man, I mean, I wouldn't even put that past him.
No. I totally agree. I mean, you think about it. I mean, we've been around for 5 decades.
Keep a lid on that.
Half a century, beloved. No, but we've seen some really good athletes come and go.
Yeah.
We've seen some spectacular athletes play all 3 sports and do really good. And we even heard about ones in the past that were really good too. Some of those names. Uncle Kev, Kevin Chamberlain. Judge Vince, Uncle Marcus, some of those Ross boys were pretty good back in the day. And then you get into the other ones too. We had a number of them that grew up. I mean, even like even J.R. LaPointe was a three sport athlete that went to state and track, and
I think he played quarterback too. JR trying to give you a holler on there. I know he's listening.
Yeah,
holds the record for most concussions probably.
That's a lot of head there though that he's carrying up.
Holds the record for most replaced helmets.
But hey Jay, just to let you know too, I know you're listening. I can't say it to Quince because you're kind of speaking up a little bit faster. So I was talking about this on the way down earlier.
Yeah.
And they said, man, Quince, I don't know. Quince always has to act like he's Keith Sweat. And I said, turn that damn Keith Sweat voice off today. Talk regular. We're on a sports show. JR is liking it up for you. So he was mimicking you too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so basically Buff's saying that I got a sexy voice. What's wrong with him, man? Hey, let's continue on. On that note, Buff, let's continue on with this.
That's you, JR.
Yeah, shout out to JR. And also shout out to all you listeners out there, all you loyal listeners out there that listen to the Big Boy Sports Talk Show. We're not here to give out stats and say who wins, who loses, all that kind of stuff. We're here to have some fun, talk about sports, get our own people on this show. And lately we've been trying to inspire a lot of the youth with this show. So let's continue on. So Coach Jeff is here with us today. A lot of people know his story, or at least some of the story anyway, with some of the accolades that he collected out throughout his coaching career. And today he's going to share with us a little bit about his upbringing here in Winnebago at the school and his sports at the school and how we got through all that. And so, Jeff, go ahead and get us started, bud.
My journey with basketball kind of started young. I think John Blackhawk and Kuna D used to be our coaches back then when we was little up at the YMCA. So it kind of started there, traveling around like that. But in the high school days, kind of got more serious, and we had a pretty good little squad. We had a good group of us, and really never made it over the hump of being one of the better teams like we should have. But a lot of my motivation and everything started probably my junior year of high school basketball. Mm-hmm. It's just, everybody knows the incident that happened up in Ponca and stuff like that. That kind of just, that moment there and all that getting pit on us kind of motivated me to come back and give better back to the community, back to the young athletes. And as that young, I noticed there's a lot of great athletes, but they never go nowhere.
Yeah.
So it just takes somebody that really cares and has the motivation, has the connections to get them farther than just Winnebago and Old Man League and native tournaments. And nothing against that, because I play in them, I still play in them, and I enjoy playing in them. It's a whole different level of basketball and different experience that everybody should experience, really, because I got friends that I brought to those tournaments and they loved it.
Yeah.
They'd never been part of any of that kind of experience.
Let me stop you real quick, Jeffrey. So the incident happened in Ponca. There's a couple of idiots that got kicked out of the gym too, I heard, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There was a couple of clowns, man. There's 2 guys that get kicked out of the gym that night.
I can't even believe that. If you guys, listeners, if you guys can remember who those 2 clowns were, can you
leave a comment.
Leave a comment for us.
The trivia for the night.
Yeah, trivia for night. Who were the 2 clowns that got kicked out of the Ponca incident? All
right, go ahead,
Jeff.
And then to be honest, I played football too, and my coach at the time, Adam James, was at the school. He was my senior football coach that year, and he tried to get me to play football down at Midland, where he went to school at. Me and another teammate, we went down there for a visit and everything. And but in my heart, basketball was my love.
Yeah.
Like we always say, and myself and your guys' pops always said it, if you take care of that rock, it will take care of you. So,
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
and that's how I treated it. And I'm living proof that
Sure.
that basketball saved my life.
Yes, indeed.
So I chose to go to Haskell. Went down there 2006. Left there 2010. It was a pretty up and down experience down there. The 4 years that I was on the team, we had 3 different coaches.
Jeez.
So we kind of went through a lot of coaches and just a lot of different vibes, I guess, that we had to battle through as athletes and students. So, but it was a really good experience. And I'm gonna tell you right now, all those younger athletes that are listening, you're not gonna go to college and think you're the guy. Because I went down to college, and every year I tell my new players coming in, I tell them my story. Like, shoot, I was a freshman thinking I was gonna go down there and play right away and be the guy. I said, no, I didn't even get to play varsity. I was just a JV player. So it takes that time to develop and show your coaches that you're worthy of playing at that level.
Yeah.
And I can speak now as I got some student athletes that try to go to college and they thought they were just going to be the guy and step on the court or step on the field, and that didn't happen, so they came back. It's finding that inner power and finding that group of people that are going to support you and push you through that time, because it is tough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but you
totally
just got to
agree.
battle that and wait for your moment and be ready for that moment. So,
That there, Jeff, everything you just said, that's it seems like with all the other scholar athletes that we had on here throughout the past weeks, they all sound the same. You guys all sound the exact same. So I mean, hopefully the listeners out there can, one of you guys will get through to somebody somehow.
Yeah.
You guys are all pretty much saying the same thing. So, I think the what we used before was the word culture shock, but down Haskell, that at least
yeah.
he didn't have to put up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
that's right. That's right. That's a good one. Yeah, good words.
So, but a lot of the times down there I met, like I said, went through a couple coaches down there, but one coach that stuck out was Mr. Coach Juno, Ted Juno. He came over.
Yeah.
He actually was best friends with Danny Manny at KU at the time. Danny Manny was the assistant coach, so he had connections there. So it was pretty cool. He brought in a lot of resources. So we got to he brought in we played summer league basketball over in Kansas City, and usually they split up all your teams and you don't get to play with your actual team, but they let us play as the Haskell team, and shoot, we got to play with the Morris twins. They threw the Morris twins on our team.
Oh wow.
So there was a summer I got to play with the Morris
Oh,
twins
that's
over
pretty
there
cool.
in Kansas City Pro-Am League. So that was pretty cool. So he brought a lot of good resources, new jerseys, flying out to games, and traveling suits and all that stuff. So he kind of changed it there for a little bit, but
Wow.
so he was,
Was that the same coach that brought your Haskell team through Winnebago on Thanksgiving that time, and we had Thanksgiving together? You remember?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
You guys stopped, and we had a Thanksgiving with the team on your guys' way to some tournament.
Yeah, I think it was. I
Yeah.
think we played up in South Dakota at the Mines School or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
he was.
think I
Yeah,
remember
he
that
had
too.
a lot of connections. So like my first year down there, my freshman year, they're like, all right, we got weights in the morning. Be there at 6 in the morning. So then we all show up, and then there's nobody there. It's just players. So it's like, oh, you do whatever you want. So then they got rid of that coach, and then this guy stepped in. It's like he brought a trainer from KU over. So we had like legit trainers from KU that was training us
That's
that
cool.
year.
Yeah.
And that year was Haskell's most winning season, actually. So that would have been
Nice.
2007, 2008.
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
Google it.
So we end up losing in the conference championship game, and you got to win your conference to get into the tourney. So we end up losing to Oklahoma Wesleyan, but then Oklahoma Wesleyan went on that year and won the whole thing.
Oh jeez.
So it was a pretty good experience. That my sophomore year at Haskell was pretty
Wow.
Good basketball we was playing.
Was it a close game when you lost to those guys?
Yeah, it was pretty close. We got to play them. We had to play them at their house. But they had a stud guy named Rojas, and oh man, he was a killer. So
You remember we talked about like these interviews right here that a lot of times we know a lot of stuff that you know that our community members and our scholar athlete spotlight people, we know a lot of their story, but we don't know all the things that connect them. So see, that's something I did not know, that they made it to the conference championship game. There's one game away. You know, that's, and then to lose against the team that wins it all. That's cool. It's cool to know that stuff, you know.
That same thing happened when we got in high school with our boys before they won the state tournament.
Fremont Bergen.
Hey, Jeff, we're not going to talk about that.
We're talking about after that.
So no, it was pretty cool down there. A lot of good experience, like I said. And then probably the best memory I had of playing ball at Haskell was, I think it was that sophomore year, homecoming weekend got rained out at Haskell, so everything got moved inside. So our gym was being used, so we couldn't practice. So the coach Juno, he got a deal with KU, and we got to practice at the Allen Fieldhouse for the whole week.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. We got to,
Nice.
we'd either come in and the boys were getting done, or we would get done, the boys would start. So that year we got a lot of connections with KU. So like that was the year they won it too. It was like Mario Chalmers, Brandon Rush. So it was a pretty cool experience.
You should have told them, let's run it back. Let's go.
Run it. Let's go.
So no, it was pretty cool though. They would actually come over to Coffin, the gym there in Coffin, and we would run games in the summertime and stuff with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers, like I said, the Morris twins, those guys would all come over and we'd just run open gym. So it was a pretty cool experience.
That's dope. I never knew that either. That's
cool.
Off subject real quick, but back in the day when I went down to Haskell, I got to see and hang out with a couple guys from KU. Wasn't it Craig Ostertag, Rex Walters? Yeah, they were down there, and those guys used to hang out at the res bar over there, man. Scheming around those Indian girls. Hey. All right.
They're all biting probably too.
So Haskell, I remember Coach Juno. I remember meeting him. He was a real cool guy. And then didn't he go on to coach D1 after that?
Yeah, I think he ended up going to Tulsa after that.
Yeah, I believe so.
He coached at Tulsa for a little bit with Danny Manny. Danny Manny followed him, yeah, we used to, there was some, I never did it, but there was a couple athletes that would go over to Danny Manny's house and do some yard work for him for extra cash and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty, that year was pretty good for Haskell basketball athletes.
Cool.
Yes, I remember when you was getting ready to graduate, and me and Randy was doing the coaching up at the high school, and I remember we was like, man, we gotta get Jeffrey back here, man. We gotta try to get him in somehow, some way. And I remember Randy talking about getting you in on the assistant coaching staff as soon as you graduated, and then. But man, he already had like 5 coaches, 6 coaches already, but he was like, hey, just add Jeffrey. One more ain't gonna hurt. There'll be room in the back of the bleachers. Come on. But anyway, we really thought that you was gonna come back and coach, and then so it ended up happening. So how did that happen then?
Just like pretty much what you said. Like when I first moved back from school and was working for a little bit. I think I was down at Whirling Thunder or something like that working, and then Randy just approached me, asked me if I wanted to be an assistant, and like I said, from my junior year in high school, that was my goal, that was my dream, was to come back and coach at the school. So that was the door opened. The door opened, and I couldn't say no to the opportunity. So, and like everything, sometimes you just got to start out at the bottom and work yourself up. So I know it kind of went pretty fast, but it was a good choice I made.
So Randy was there. He stepped down, and then is that when Nelly came in?
Yep.
And then Nelly's there for a couple years, and
I think weren't because Randy, myself, Jeff, RJ were on the coaching staff, and then the year that Randy stepped down, then I think didn't you and Nelly take over as co-head coaches?
Yeah, it was co-head coaches.
Then you guys all had your timeouts left because Randy used them all.
So then I think it was just the first year after that they offered Well, they were supposed to offer it to me. Then I guess Nally got thrown in there. So then we co-head coach for those next 2 years.
Yeah.
And then they offered me the job after that. So, and that would have been 2014 to 15.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, hey, man.
Makes me mad.
So, well, first of all, before we're going to get right into 2015 here in a minute, guys, but we can talk a little bit about around graduation time, okay? Haskell, you spent your a few years down there. I know you was raising your son down there as a college student, full-time college student, full-time basketball player, and maybe kind of run us through that little thing with Diami, you know, because I mean everybody in our community knows Diami, man. Everybody knows him, you know. But I remember being down at Haskell back in 2009, I believe, and then I remember you guys were getting done with practice, and Diami was. You guys were getting done with practice at one end of the court. Diami was just a little cat shooting around at the other end of the court, and then you guys would switch spots because you guys are going to this end of here, and then Diami would just run to the other side and start shooting around the other side. So I remember seeing him down here at Haskell in that gym as a youngster.
yeah.
So maybe kind of give us a little bitty story about Diami and how he helped you get through it all.
Yeah, so I had that.
That picture right there.
Yeah, I had Diami my senior year. Going into my senior year, I was 7 days before I started my senior year. Diami was born. So, and yeah, everybody says it's gonna be hard, this and that. Yes, it was hard, but with my family and the family support that I have and that we had at the moment they really helped us.
Yep.
So they made it pretty easy. With all the help I had, but having him made me grow up faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looking at my peers, some of those guys that didn't grow up, didn't take it serious or nothing. I had to take it serious.
Yeah.
So going into my senior year, there was no senioritis. There wasn't no, oh, I'm a senior, I'm just gonna slack off. It was like, nah, I got a kid at home, so I gotta man up.
You gotta work
and get my stuff done and take care of him. So it made me really grow up really fast.
Yeah.
And I think in the long run that helped me out.
Yeah.
And then being at school, being at Haskell and stuff like that, bringing him with me. Bringing him with me, like I said, just made me grow up. There was a responsibility there more than just going to school and playing basketball. I gotta feed my child, put a house over his head, and take care of him too. So, like I said, it just made me be an adult faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that motivation there, then that is just to be the best person I could be, so that when he gets that age and he can be better than me.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, like he was just a little Haskell rascal down there, and like I said, like the move for him was pretty easy because all those same teachers, same professors, same staff are all down there, and they all know him as a little bitty Haskell rascal down there running around the basketball court at the games and stuff like that. So
some of those instructors that know you down there, they're gonna see a lot of you in Diami when he takes those certain classes too, you know.
Yeah. So so just having him made me grow up faster, be ready, be adult, and no more messing around. So
more responsible.
Yeah, more responsible.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I just want him to grow up and be better than me, be a better dad, be a better athlete, be a better student, be a better worker. So I'm just trying to set that bar high for him. So
I think you could right there. He's run a little bit longer than you. How'd you doing that right there?
That one right there, I got second in my age group in the 5K.
Oh man!
So I was a little bit over 3 miles there.
Yeah.
That picture there, it's the powwow run 7 miles. I think he ran it in 43 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a picture right now on the visual of Coach Jeff Berge and his son Diami after a powwow run. And you guys have been doing that past few powwows that I noticed. You guys are taking pictures and stuff. And I've never done that. I've only ran in a powwow run twice, and I've walked it maybe 4 times maybe. Other than that, I never tried it before.
I told him that was just me and my wife Jennifer. That was one of our things. Our kids kind of gave up the sports this summer, and we focused on more on the powwow track.
Yeah.
So, and I told Dami that too, that he was going to be doing the same thing. I said, shoot, you might as well go to these powwows and let's get in these 5Ks, get in these runs. I said, get your name out there. I said, people see you all over. I said, let them see you in person.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then my aspirations and goals for him and kind of feed his head is be that guy. I said, yeah, there's a lot of native runners out there, but put it on the map. I said, approach somebody, say, hey, I want to run for Nike N7, or I want to run the Boston Marathon and the New York Marathon. I said, be that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I said, there's a lot of people that would back you. So going to these powwows, I tell them, like, let's go win these things.
Yep.
So that was just the powwow. That one we did the Morton run, the Morton powwow. He Matt Pendleton, I know you guys know him,
Yeah, I
played
know
ball,
Matt, yep.
played with Buff here and Motto Hoops and Sioux Nation Hoops and stuff. So he let him run with the Eagle staff up there on their run. So that was a pretty
nice.
cool honor for him.
Yeah.
Because he kind of knew he was going to come in first, so he gave him that Eagle staff to run with.
Nice.
Then we ran down to Macy powwow, 5K and stuff. So yeah, so he's kind of out there getting his name out there.
The new modern day Billy Mills.
Yeah, and I noticed too. You remember he's talking about Dami possibly being that all around that guy. Even out of the names that I said before and the ones that we've been thinking about, even like with Dave Winge and stuff like that, none of those guys dance fancy dance. You know what I mean? And then watching Dami dance this past powwow, man, he's so in shape. He's so in shape that he could just keep on dancing forever. The only thing, though, I know Dami's probably listening or will listen, is you got to learn those trick songs, Sonny. You got to learn those trick songs, But he's got all the moves. He's got all the tools to become that great person that you think he can be, Jeff. So, congratulations and thank you for doing that for your son, because we all got to watch him the last 6 years in Winnebago, playing from junior high to high school, and then now we also get to follow him on his new journey down to Haskell, where he's going to be running for your old school.
Yeah.
Per se,
So yeah. So that's just a story about him. Had him young, made me grow up fast.
I gotta disagree with you on that part. Having children young. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I'm just gonna be real. Sometimes the young dads, they get scared, man. They get scared and they bounce.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might not even bounce too far. They might just be bouncing somewhere in the same community, but they kind of discard themselves from the situation. But other ones, such as yourself, take that like brand new family, take that whole the blessing of a child, and has to do what you were taught. What you were taught from day one when you was a little kid, even asking questions or seeing your parents or your relatives and stuff grow up. That the main thing that our kids need is they need us there, the dads. They need us there. And it really shows of how you raise your son by how Dami is. Not only is he this athlete that we've been talking about, but he's also a respectful young Ho Chung man. And he also take leads for Grey Wolf, the jump group, I mean, just an all-around guy. I really enjoy that, But, hey, enough about Dami. Let's get back into talking about you. Okay, so we talked about all this, getting from your upbringing, how you kind of got through school, having Dami when you're young, pushing you, getting to college, playing hoops. There was one game that stood out, and I think it might have been on a holiday because we were eating out to Auntie Pearl's house. And the game, this was back in the day. Somehow the game was being live streamed on some station that Auntie Pearl had. And so we all sat around and watched you play. And I believe that game, you might have went like 7 for 7 or 8 for 8 from the field. And every time you got the ball, everybody was saying, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And then you did, and you made all your shots, man. I never seen your mom's face so proud, and because we were all watching on TV, so we sit around on Christmas and watch the Knicks play and the Celtics play. We're sitting around on a holiday, eating together and getting out to watch her son play. Man, she was so proud. I remember that day. It was like yesterday, man. I just loved to watch that. That was my favorite game.
That was probably one of the better games I did have. That would have been that year we played. We played a D1 school, Northern Arizona. So it was live. Like there were some channel, Fox Sports News Arizona or something had it playing. And I think I probably had to buy that channel for that day.
Oh.
But yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I went 100 from the field. I think I had a couple steals. I think I had an alley-oop to one of my friends, Ben Carrywater out of Montana, and he smashed it on somebody. So yeah, that was pretty fun. But going into that game, it was kind of like you said, end of the semester going into the break. I was telling my roommate, and then I was like, man, I kind of went from starting, and then kind of trickled down, and I wasn't really getting no PT. So I was like, man, if I get in these games, man, I'm shooting. I said, I'm done riding the pine. So that was my mindset, and it was like, shoot, after that, that's when my game really evolved, was after that, just having that mindset of, shoot, I got to get my own. I know it's a team sport, but then again, when you put all that work in stuff, you got to take advantage of that opportunity. So that was my mindset. And shoot, I went in there, and coach took me out, and he's like, man, I don't want to put you back in because you're shooting 100% from the field. Don't want to mess it up. So, but it was just at the end of the game and stuff. But, I remember that game. I remember everybody calling me after that. Oh, we watched you. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool time. Yeah, that was NAU down there in northern Arizona.
All right, man. That's those are good stories, man. And that's why we really enjoy like having these little conversations with our scholar athletes. Because like me and Buff was talking about earlier. We hear a lot of the stories. We see what's on Facebook, but there's a lot of things that connect the dots in between those. Kind of big events that happen in y'all's lives. Yeah. And so those are the stories that we're trying to get, because those are the stories that we think that the young people and the older group people who are listening, that want to hear maybe something one of you guys say, maybe something that you guys say is going to hit one of the parents, so they kind of pass it on to their kid, and then maybe that kid will learn from that experience, Yeah. And then to our listeners too, especially on like Facebook and YouTube, the Big Voice got these streaming. All these interviews are streaming. So if you missed last week's, or if you missed this week's, or the week before, you can easily just get onto the website, go to your Facebook, go to your YouTube, and look up the Big Voice and go look at those episodes, because there's a lot of inspiring stories out there by our own people, our own native Winnebago people. So anyway, Jeff, so we're going to continue on with this interview. So we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to skip the mentor shout out, so I'll let you do that kind of towards the end. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll get into like all your basketball experience, playing, coaching. How is that the basketball part of it linked to success? I remember you saying just a little while ago about something that my dad said, you take care of that rock's gonna take care of you. Maybe you have a little story about that link from basketball to your success here.
I kind of use it a lot. I use that phrase a lot, and like I said, I got it from your pops. He used to always say that, take care of that rock, it'll take care of you. And myself, just my story, like in my mind, like I had a kid and everything in high school, so I could have just went and started working, take care of him that way. But that basketball kind of gave me the opportunity to go to school. That the rock, or whatever you want to call it, gave me that opportunity to go to school and to experience everything I experienced, everything we talked about. And then to me, it's just getting to know all my connections I have now. And so I tell my kids that all the time, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be a basketball. It could be anything that you take serious. If you take care of it, it will take care of you. Yeah. So I always use that phrase, because to me it saved my life. It gave me an education, gave me experiences, gave me family, gave me friends, gave me a lifetime of people that I can just go. Yeah. Like I can say I could probably go to every state and there's somebody there I know from basketball. Yeah. So just like this weekend, I went to Lower Brewpile. It was like, I hit up my friend that I knew through basketball, and he let me shower at his house and eat at his house, everything. He's like, my house is took care of me. And I can probably go almost everywhere and somebody's going to be like that because of the game. Yep.
And I know that Buff, I know he had that same experience, and he went on the circuit for a couple of decades himself after high school, and met so many people, just made friends with so many people, played ball with and against so many people. Yeah. So many good games, and then you even the little after sets during the tournament, you get to meet people on a personal level, make friends, and then now that they have social media, you can link up with almost every one of your friends from back in the day. Yeah. Yep. And then you guys talk about old stories and all that kind of stuff.
One story, that stands out. I'm sorry, guys, I had to take a quick phone call too, guys. So, but I'm back. But Jeff, the story that you was talking, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about the Morris twins, and I didn't know that you got to play against Chalmers and all those guys. A couple of big names that back when I was in my playing days we played against, like, I was at a tournament. I don't think we played against him, but he was there. I think Jerome Kersey, he played the Trailblazers back in the day. There's a couple of movie stars we played against. Me and Quince, we played against Woody Harrelson. That movie, The Sixth Man, I don't know if you guys ever seen that one, but there was the big bald black guy on the team. His name's Lorenzo Orr. We played on our same team out in Prairie Island. You know, so then you get like the great Indian ball players from the old Iron Five. You know who those guys are. You're not too far out of the loop with that, but like
remember Vashawn Leonard?
Oh, Vashawn Leonard's another one. Played against him too. He played with Minnesota, and he played pro in the NBA as well. But like Russ Archambault and Rusty Gillette, you know, you got all the Kurt Schwamp and Buddy Windy Boy and all these guys. You know, those guys all played, and they're all young. You know, back in the day, and those kind of talents that we played against too. So back in the day, so like you said, you know, basketball. It makes forever friendships that people that you, and Big Butch, you know, I don't know if he's listening or not, but you know, Butch is the same way. You know, he has these teams, assembles these teams, and he takes them all over the place. And he's been like that since, you know, I was in my early 20s. You know, I don't want to tell you how long ago that was, but then, you know, so then you played on his squad as well too. You know, so you know, but basketball is just it's good. It's good to you. You know? It paid some bills for me too. You know.
Exactly.
So it was crazy. I got my girls prom dresses and basketball shoes and volleyball shoes. They did that because then there I am going out there and busting my butt and almost hurting myself every weekend to try to make this extra money because we win more games, we win more money. And I got money for my kids when I get home. That's how I look at it, my side hustle.
One other thing that Pops just say too is that basketball right there, that can take you to places you would only dream to going. You know? And then, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we're the topic is basketball today, but if your child plays a different sport, or if you're interested in a different sport, I mean, volleyball, golf, you know, anything, have your child find that love. And the same thing we're talking about basketball, talk about the volleyball or the baseball or the softball being that love, you know. That sport can take your kid to very, very awesome places in this world if they love that sport that much, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, so let's keep it going. And so how about this though? Because I know that last year, not this past year, but the year before, you actually coached the junior high boys basketball team, and I know that the reason why you stepped down to do down a level to do the junior high boys is because you wanted them to be ready for when they got into high school. Because a lot of stuff that they learn in high school, or a lot of stuff that they do in high school, you should have already learned it by the time you get to high school. So do you have any plans in the near future? I know we asked you this back in the spring about coming back and coaching.
So actually I know some people know, but actually making my way back to coaching. Let's go. I accepted to do the junior high boys basketball here in Winnebago again.
Go.
So I can say that I'm going to do that, and then also there might be a chance where I might have to step in and help Coach Bear because he had a couple people leave. So I might be actually being an assistant at the high school level too, but I'm not too sure yet. I'm kind of just leaving that open, just waiting to see what Dami does, if he's going to play basketball or run. So because if he does play basketball, I want to be able to get away and catch his games. Also, so I don't want to get sign up for too much.
Exactly.
Too much,
But if need be, I told him I would be there to help out. So, but yeah, junior high boys basketball this year in Winnebago. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a good group of boys, hardworking boys, very successful up in Sioux City in the tournaments they've been going to. So hopefully I can just carry that on and give my 2 cents to who they've been playing with right now. I know a lot of the boys play with Warpath. There might be a couple of them might sneak onto the arena teams or whatever may be, but I'm just looking to, like I said, always giving back, give them my 2 cents, my experience, what I see and what I would want them to learn as a coach, and just to make them ready to make that next step.
It should be, you know, the boys playing with Quince, Coach Q here all the time, growing up in that age bracket. He teaches them all the basics. He gets them like that, so he gets them ready for that. So there was always that gap. We talked about this before. When they got into junior high, You know, you had Quince had him for all these couple years growing up. I give Quince Gray's house him on Facebook and stuff about coaching everybody and their kid, but it's like he did ever since he was a little bitty guy. He coached you guys too, you know, when you guys coming up. So then there was always that generational gap, that 7th and 8th grade gap, where you get these couple of the coaches. I'm not knocking on some of Winnebago coaches that come in and step into junior high, but I am at the same time. My name's Buffalo Bass, by the way. But at the same time, so now that they got someone in there to fill that little gap that we need, you know, then that way when they get to high school, high school teams will be better. We'll get that. Yes, so indeed. Good, Jeff. Congratulations. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. So yeah, should be good. Should be fun. Looking forward to it. So
yeah, a lot of people don't understand like the stress I have in our community about all the grades, like all the grades. I'm always like trying to think, you know, 2, 3, 4 years ahead, you know, and you know, you saying you're going to come back and coach the junior high boys. I know which boys you're talking about. I've seen them play. I've watched them practice. We've been through some wars together out there on the court with these big teams from Sioux City, and so that's the perfect thing they need is to get a coach in that gap that Buff's talking about that can not just keep them going like that, like keep them going, but make them better. So when they get to high school, they're even more better. Okay, I know what you were saying before, Buff, about remember we had a couple non-Winnebago coaches that were there for a number of years, and like you said, not knocking on them, but you can if I guess if you want to, but I'll just say, just imagine those groups of boys that came through those junior high years with one of us native coaches that teach res ball, you know, and then not just teach them that, but just keep it going and make them, you know, work them hard until they got to high school. Yeah. I mean, imagine those state teams, how much better they would have been. You know, I mean, if they had 2 more years of guidance through some really high profile basketball, you know, res ball. So anyway. So so we're just gonna go ahead and get into that. I know that you already talked about like the importance of giving back to the youth, because that's what you made that promise to yourself. You know, after your 10th grade year, you made that promise to yourself that was gonna happen. And so we're just gonna go on. You talked about the Winnebago, your situation here in Winnebago, that you're gonna be coming in and coaching the junior high boys and possibly helping out the varsity boys. So maybe that'd be great, you know. So we want to get to the point where you can go ahead and give some shout outs, you know. We heard some of the people that you said amongst your journey and your story, but we're gonna give you a little time to go ahead and just kind of give some shout outs to some people that helped you along the way.
Shout outs really could be one person that really played a really big part of my success at Haskell and doing everything down there. What I did would be Mr. Elwood Yacht.
Elwood.
I know you know him. I know he's been up here a couple times. Elwood really stepped in, and he was one of the assistant coaches, kind of a recruiter for Haskell, and still kind of does it to this day. And he's always been down there. He knows a lot of people, and he always takes care of the kids that really need it and that really show that they want it. Because a lot of times you got to ask for that help. They're just not. It's not gonna come knocking on your door. Like you got to really show like that you care and stuff about your school and stuff like that. So he was a really big mentor for me. To this day, he's still my mentor. And I just got to give him a shout out. He's already taken care of Dami down there. Took him out to eat a couple times already. So he's a big bro. He's like a father figure to me and stuff like that. So he played a really big part of my success down there. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Alwood. I know he's been up in the community. Also, he worked with Boys and Girls Club for a while, so he knows Greg and Wombly like that. So
he's kind of one of the big wigs in the National Boys and Girls Club now.
Yeah. So shout out to him. And then another person down there that I want to give a shout out to would be Brandon Yellowbird Stevens. At the time, he was my JV coach. So I know he was a pretty big name on the Indian circuit and played at Haskell and stuff like that. So, but he took care of me too down there. He had his little family. He understood that I had my little family, and he really took care of us. Anything I needed, he was willing to help out, and not only on the basketball court, but off the basketball court. So Brandon Yellowbird Stevens, there's another guy that
Councilman
yeah,
Stevens.
up in Oneida.
Up in
Yeah,
Oneida,
his dad's Big Ernie Stevens.
Yeah,
So
we know his pops
yeah,
from back in the day.
yeah.
Back in the day.
So yeah, so he was actually his pops was really good friends with Uncle Kuna too. So
Oh, yeah.
So I got to know them pretty well too. Even Big Ernie, he would always be down there because his son was there and all his daughters were there holding records.
Daughters can
Oh,
hoop
yeah.
too. And
Yeah.
Ask Big Butch about Big Ernie's poison whip. Ask him about it. See what they say. That Brandon gave us that the name of that. Ernie has a long ponytail.
Oh, yeah.
And he posted Butch up in a tournament one time when we were, and he was older and me and Butch was younger, like late 20s. He looked one way quick, and he spun the other way, and he slapped Butch in the face with his ponytail. And then he spun on Butch, and all Butch did close out. He got me. That's all he said. Butch, if you heard, I'm bringing that back.
Oh,
So, yeah, they
Tell
call it
those
the poison
stories.
whip. Yeah.
The poison whip.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so like that, and then like obviously my coach, probably one of the better coaches, best coaches I ever had was Mr. Ted Juno.
Yeah.
So he's another big mentor, and we talked about him a lot. So he really helped my coaching philosophy and the way he coaches, the way I wanted to coach. And one thing that he's stuck with me is, like I said, he coached Lawrence High from Danny Manny, then he helped at KU with Bill South and Danny Manny himself, and then like you said, went to Tulsa and stuff. But when he took the job at Haskell, he really didn't know what he got into, he said. But he used to be a yelling coach, yell at him, make him do this, make him do that. But he said coaching at Haskell made him realize like everybody's a human being, because he would yell at us, would go one ear out the other. So he had to catch on fast where like he said, you guys, you don't respond to me yelling at you. I gotta talk to you like a human being. I gotta sit down, look in your face, and tell you need to do this without yelling. So that was the biggest thing I took from him. And if you came to my practices or the games I coach, like you really don't see me yelling and nagging a kid and yelling at, oh, you did this wrong. No, I look at him face to face and I tell him, hey man, you need to do this because this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to really like hound them, because they probably get that enough at home or in the classroom or wherever it may be, that they get that so much. Like if I'm doing it, it's the same old thing in one year out the other. So you really gotta, he showed me, and he even told me that like that was the biggest thing he had to adjust, was him yelling. Like he had to really sit there and just talk to us like human beings.
Yeah, maybe that was a big turning point in his life too,
Yeah.
Because it kind of sounds like it.
And then again, maybe it isn't. Maybe you start hollering around at this next group too.
So who knows? But yeah, he played a big part, and that was one thing I really took from him, is just treat everybody like a human being, and just talk to him like a person. Let them know what they did wrong without yelling at them, because everybody probably gets yelled at enough, so they don't want to hear it on the basketball court.
I know, right?
So there's times and places where you have to really get pissed off at some players or something, but it doesn't have to be the whole time. So, but other than that, like he was a big one, and then like we've been talking about Big Butch, my big bro Butch. He's another mentor of mine, just taking me around places, playing ball with him, and showing me the circuit and all those many memories I have in that. So even like a mentor like that, and to this day we're still good friends, and he's my big bro. So he showed me a lot of the game and just being around his players, because he didn't bring any old team around. His team was elite team, and he was bringing guys in, non-natives in, that were really good basketball players. So just being around them, being able to listen to them or see them play, and I really learned a lot from them. And I applied it to my coaching. And then another one, I don't know if you guys remember him, but I played for the Sioux City Hornets. It was a semi-pro team. His name was Maurice Williams. He's the one that started that team and gave me the opportunity to play on his team. And he showed me a lot too. I know Dago Jerome just posted that video of Devon hitting that game winner. And that was a prime example. That play right there I drew up was the play we ran for the Hornets. And literally it worked to perfection. Like everybody was gonna follow David for the alley-oop, but we was gonna hit the wide open three for the win, and that's what we did. That was his play, and I texted him. I said, check this video. I sent it to him. So yeah, I sent it to him. He's like, "Dang, that's dope." The next at practice, he mentioned it to the guys, and so that's another mentor of mine. He gave me the opportunity to play a little bit of semi-pro basketball, and actually, really, that was probably the best basketball I ever played. Was when I was playing for the Sioux City Hornets. But it was just free flowing.
Yeah, there's a lot
shoot
of
the
talent
ball.
on the team.
Yeah,
A lot of talent on the team.
So I think we played 3 years, and I think we only lost like 2 or 3 games.
Can you back that up a little bit? Is that a lot of talent on that team? Is that Matt? Is that Manny Monez down there?
That's Manny.
Oh my
Manny
goodness!
Manny gave it a go.
LeBron number.
So yeah, we used to practice in Winnebago at the gym. Like I was doing high school basketball coaching, then straight into semi-pro practice. So yeah, you can see in that we're looking at a video. You can see like David, Matthew, all those guys are out there scrimmaging us. That's another opportunity that team gave us. The Hornets gave us was those guys got to play against some top talent.
Wasn't one of those guys from the Hornets? What was his name? He's missing an arm, but he was still really good.
R.L. Whitaker.
He's still playing.
He's still playing. He plays pro ball.
Yeah, that's
he
what I
plays down
thought,
in
yeah.
Mexico and China and everything. But yeah, he's made top 10. Yeah.
I would like to get him on the show one time.
You never know.
That would be a crazy one because that young man he only had one arm and he is such a spectacular hooper, dunker, 3-point shooter.
So Maurice Williams opened the door for me a lot, and to be honest, don't want to brag or nothing, but I did get an overseas contract to the United Kingdom for Leeds Skyforce was the team called.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got that contract, but that was the year after we won state. So we won state, and then I was playing semi-pro at the time too. We won state, did that, and then boom, I had an offer to go overseas. But it was exactly the same time as the high school season, so I couldn't give up. David coming back. We had Devon Aspen coming back, so I was like, nah, I can't give that up. That's another state title.
Yeah.
So, but no, he opened a lot of doors. So he's another mentor, and he's still around here. He has a little team up in the arena that plays up there. So I get to see him time for time. But he was from California, so he got to bring a lot of people in, a lot of experience himself. I think he played like 20-something years overseas. So he was a pretty cool cat.
Shoot, that's good. That's good, man. Well, shoot, now so we basically got through that whole interview, and we still have about a good 10 minutes left. And so, first and foremost, Coach Jeff, I just want to say thank you to you for coming up here, giving us your time. I know that we've had a big response on these Scholar Athlete Spotlights for the second half of the summer. Had so many good stories, and so you coming in to share the rest of your story is just another blessing for our show here. And also it gives you opportunity to kind of keep your name out there, because now everybody knows that you're going to be coaching again,
Yeah.
And I think that is huge, coming from the basketball coach in the lower ranks down here. It's huge to see that you're going to be coming back and helping out, because when we're coaching the younger guys and we're pushing them up through the grade system, through the school, we always want them to be passed on to somebody that's going to keep on teaching them more, not to stop teaching them. And so now, like for me, especially with the Warpath boys that play for the Warpath teams, I'm like, all right, okay, we're going to be sitting good again, And so, much thanks from me, from the rest of the community, for just sharing your stories. We really appreciate it. But we're going to just go ahead and finish up just talking a little bit about a couple other sports here in Winnebago. One thing that I forgot to mention in my last episode is my good friend, Pilar Aldrich. She actually is the head honcho down there at the Whirling Thunder Wellness Center. And a couple weeks back during our annual celebration, our powwow, she sent me a text, and I was supposed to read this over the thing about her and her shout outs for the tournament they ran out there at the Land of Wellness.
Softball tournament?
Oh, yeah, softball tournament, sorry. They ran 3 softball tournaments, a co-ed, a men's, and a women's, and they started on hot Friday, like it was like 102 degrees out Friday, and then all day Saturday into the night. And they got done with 3 tournaments, and there was a lot of people out there, and it was packed out there. But I just wanted to share a little message out there for a few of these people. There's some shout outs from Pilar Aldrich. She says, I want to give a huge shout out to my team at Whirling Thunder for their hard work over the weekend with the softball tourney, the walk run, and the healthy choice food stand. Most of the programs get to enjoy powwow, but we are one of the few who work to provide healthy activities and healthy food. Special recognition to Josh Taylor for handling the umps and crybabies, LOL, and then Kenyon Snyder for assisting. Trevor Wilkie for field prep, Serenity Drew for shopping and holding concessions down as needed, Susie Snyder for opening each day, Sky and Trunky for being the grill masters, Darwin Flip Snyder for chefing up breakfast burritos and 10 pounds of taco meat, and of course my family for supporting me. Thank you to all our support people and sponsors from 5-Star Awards, Stadium Sports, Neiman Towing, Hey Hey Girls, Big Time Cleaning, TV Customs, South Bottoms, Paco Smith, and Jay Payer. So, if you heard your name in that little shout out right there, Pilar gives a big thank you to you guys and all your efforts out there. And also congratulations to the winners. The winners are right there. They're being shown on the view right now, on the visual. And looks like I see Jay Bass out there. A couple other teams. I don't even know who those teams are. But man, congratulations, because hey, and good job you guys out there, all you softball players, because we cruised by while we was chefing up during power time, cruised by and seen you guys out there in over 100-degree weather playing softball with no clouds in the sky. Man, I felt for you, man. I said a prayer for you guys. But yeah, but anyway, we're also we were kind of chatting about this upcoming football season. I don't know if you can find that thing again, Beth, but the Winnebago's football season is coming up, and I know last week we touched a little bit about it, and the schedule is so crazy. There's I think they have 8 scheduled games, and 5 of those games are away, and the away games the away games are Pine Ridge, like a 8 or 9 hour drive. 2 of the Rosebud Res towns back to back. Eagle Butte, which is another 6-hour drive. Okay, so Pine Ridge is the first game on the 31st. That's the same day the Huskers play, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, and then the week 2 we get a bye.
I'll be there for that one.
We're definitely gonna win that one. September 16th at St. Francis on the Rosebud Res, and then September 21st also on the Rosebud Res at Todd County, and then we're going into the September 29th game, which is a home game against Cheyenne Eagle Butte, and that actually the first home game is homecoming. And so just so you listeners know, any of you guys that are out there that are parents of the football, any of the football team members, I'm trying to get a crew together to try and come up with some kind of a meal. So if you can inbox me on Facebook under Quince Bass, and just let's try to get this meal prepared. I know people were talking about trying to do a booster club and stuff like that, but that's just going to take too long, getting sanctioned and all that kind of stuff. Us parents just need to put our wallets together and our stoves together, and let's make some meals for those guys. So inbox me on those home games.
I got napkins.
Buff got napkins, you guys. He's bringing them from the YCIC. All right, and so October 5th. Okay, check this out. October 5th, last away game at Standing Rock. Okay, so it looks like 4 away games and 3 home games.
Yep.
So I have an idea, and if any listeners are listening to this, a lot of people want to go to the game, but a lot of people can't drive to those games. I'll be one guy to say that I want to go to every one of these games, but I'm not going to be able to drive to all these games. So if you guys need a sidekick, a roll dog, somebody to throw in gas, you can holler at your boy.
Don't ask Quince.
But also, if there's anybody else out there looking for rides, you guys get on the horn and start messaging some of these other parents, and let's get something going. And Adam James, if you're listening to this one, maybe we can get one of the buses to take some parents up or something like that. Ones that can't go, maybe kind of offer that out there, because you know darn well having these games all 6+ hours away, that our fan base is going to be really small. So if we want to get at least some going, let's try to put our heads together and try to get a plan going to get some parents up to these games, because I know I'll be one. So let's ride. Anyway, continue on. On October 13th, we play Little Wound here in Winnebago at 2 o'clock on Friday the 13th. And then the last regular season game of the year is against Red Cloud on October 20th here in Winnebago. And we're really
You missed Standing Rock, bro. That's probably the furthest.
No, I was just talking about that.
That's the game he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then playoffs. Hopefully we'll get in good and have a winning record and make the playoffs. And it looks like the first round will be announced sometime after the regular season is over. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then just real quick, like too, the volleyball season. I know Darla was on with us last week. She talked about expectations of her team, and the volleyball squad is going to be underway very, very shortly. Looks like, wow.
Tomorrow.
Is it the 16th today?
Yeah, tomorrow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow the girls volleyball team is going to be in action at Wisner at 6 o'clock at Wisner, Nebraska. That's just a little bit past Bancroft. So all you volleyball parents, do the same thing. Load up some of your family, load up some more fans, and let's get them down here. I think they said last year Wisner was pretty good last year, but they might have graduated out a lot of seniors. So good luck to the girls volleyball team. And then, then after that, the girls schedule starts off, and there's a couple what do you call those tri tournaments or something like that? Triangles. And so that visual of the girls' schedule is up there. And ladies and gentlemen, please get the fan base up there. Get them out there cheering for these ladies, because they play a lot harder when we have people cheering. Mm-hmm. All right, so we've come to this last spot right here where we're going to give out our Athlete of the Week. And so, a lot of times we, especially during the season, we try to give the Athlete of the Week to maybe an actual athlete that's been playing in a game or a competition throughout the week. And I know last week, one of the gentlemen that was given an award was Chunky. Travin Bear, and there's a visual of him with his Athlete of the Week medal on. And so we got to get out there, and somebody found Trunk and got him that medal and took a picture. So do you have somebody thought of, bro? I got somebody thought of right now.
I do. I'll go ahead and start it off, because remember last week I was going to do this whole the whole Native AF team. Okay, so they did make the playoff play-in game last night.
They did,
and they ended up winning the first game.
Okay,
and they played in the championship, but they ran out of gas, ran out of magic, and they got second place.
Okay.
So I'd like to go and just send my Athlete of the Week just to their squad. Thanks for bringing it home. Upper Tuesdays.
You guys got it back. Buff gave it to you last week, then he took it right away.
That's right. You guys
and
remember that?
You guys got it back now. Hey, so this one means twice as much.
Yeah. So there it is right there.
That's a good one, man. Hey, congratulations to Native AF for getting that Athlete of the Week by B Love. All right, so brings me to my Athlete of the Week. So I've been trying to be creative about my Athlete of the Week. I try to give it to my relatives and whatnot all the time, like Buff does. Myself,
hey, man, I got a family full of athletes, man. Come on.
So I was listening to Coach Jeff's story, and there's one person that I guess out of the crew that I want to choose out of his shout outs that I want to choose for this Athlete of the Week for this week from Coach Q. So he talked about all these inspiring people and the people that helped you out the most. And this guy also helped out my boy Greg while he was a freshman down at Haskell down here, or down at the freshman at Lawrence South Junior High. Even though he wasn't in college, Alwood would still, give my boy his pointers and want him to go to school down at Haskell and play ball down there because he was 6'3", ninth grader. And Jeff, you have so many good words to say about Elwood, and I know Wombly talks about Elwood all the time, and he's just a good all-around guy that's there to help not only his own people, but all Indigenous people.
Yeah.
And I know I said he's the head honcho of one of the Boys and Girls Club nationally. So this week, Coach Q's Athlete of the Week, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Elwood Ott. Elwood, I know you might be listening to this, you might not, but I'm going to tag you in this one so you can listen to it, and then I'll get your Athlete of the Week medal sent out to you.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, there he is, Elwood Ott.
Yeah.
There's the
he
guy right
is.
there, Elwood.
The myth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Congratulations, Elwood. I'll get you that medal, and then once you get that medal, take a picture, send it in to me, and we'll be just fine. Oh. There's an alarm going off, and I didn't know that was mine. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about that alarm, but
tell her you'll be back in a little bit. You're almost done.
okay, shout out to my wife because I know she's cooking chicken tonight. All right, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to 100.9 FM. This is the Big Voice Radio. You are listening to the Big Voice Sports Talk Show. This is episode 36, and we are out. Peace.